The 2011 Lakers had won two consecutive NBA championships and were looking to three-peat. And so each member of each principal of that team, from Kobe to Lamar Odom, Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher, just about all of those players played 82 games that season. Now, if you remember, Phil Jackson had seriously contemplated retiring. And so he announced that he would return for one last season. And so they went on and had a fairly successful season and then were eliminated in the second round against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the Lakers started that season 8-0. The Mavericks started that season 6-2. And at the point at which the Lakers and Mavericks met, the Lakers had played 73 playoff games in the prior three seasons. The Mavericks had played 22. So that's more than a half a season of basketball, additional basketball that the Lakers had played. Okay. Kobe Bryant hurt his ankle in the first round of the 2011 playoffs against I believe against the OKC. And so the Lakers famously got swept. Here's my question. Is it arguable that the Lakers win that series if they had been able to play that series after 8 regular season games? In other words, we have the off season. They play, every team in the league plays 8 games. Then they start the playoffs. You've got an obviously tired team, poised to three-peat. They go out, give it all they have, and they come up short. They just run out of gas. You know, Lakers are all of the principals of that team are, reaching 30. And to be fair, they end up getting beaten by an older team. But again, the Lakers, the Mavericks have only played 22 playoff games in the prior 3 years. Okay? Is it arguable that there is a different result if the season had only been 8 games long? Well, you may say, well, maybe so, Case, but that's an absurd analogy because the NBA season is 82 games long. Well, not in the case of the 2020 Lakers, because you understand that there was a 5-month break in basketball before the commencement of the playoffs. So essentially, there's a whole off season, okay? And the teams come back and basically start fresh. Why do I bring this up? It is my contention that the 2020 Lakers championship, for the purposes of evaluating players in this GOAT conversation, is disqualified. Imagine being a boxer, okay, and you are attempting to become the second 3-time lineal heavyweight champion, which right now the only player that has that distinction, the only boxer that has that distinction is Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, 3 times. And when I say lineal heavyweight champion, you knocked out the champion. You beat the champion. Okay? You didn't go off and win a separate division. Okay? The lineal champion means you beat the man. Okay? Muhammad Ali is the only one that has the distinction of winning it 3 times. So you're a boxer and you have 2 titles. You're trying to win it a 3rd time. And you win the title in a 6-round bout by decision. Is that really fair? The bout, for, let's say, for whatever reason, it's only a 6-round bout. You win the title. And so the question isn't whether you were actually the best player, you were actually the best team that year. The Lakers probably were the best team that year, or it certainly is arguable, although the Milwaukee Bucks had a better record at the end of when the pandemic break started. The Milwaukee Bucks had a better record, and then, like a lot of players, suffered an injury in the playoffs. Okay, who was it? Bledsoe. Okay, Bledsoe. So, but I mean, there's no mistake that Laker team was good. Okay, they were inspired. That was the year of Kobe's death. They played some good basketball. That team had a lot of veteran leadership. Alex Caruso and Rondo. But when we compare that title to the other titles that the greatest players in NBA history have won, all of whom came in 82-game seasons, how can we take that title just as seriously? So here's a graph of just notable championship seasons. And so you have the 2020 Lakers and the 21 Bucks, and then you have the 99 Spurs, and then you have Kobe's rings, and then you have Michael Jordan's rings. Okay? Now, that's the number of games played during the prior 5 months, okay, preceding the commencement of the playoffs. Some of these teams are playing 60, 70 games in the prior 5 months. And then LeBron and AD got to play 8 games. And see, here's the thing. The reason this is problematic is because basketball is typically a young man's game. And the reason that it's typically a young man's game is because of the duration of the season. Okay? It's intended to be a marathon. Okay? You can't take seriously a season wherein the playoffs started following a sprint. And that it wasn't a marathon. Okay? When Michael Jordan is playing 82 games, year in, year out, fighting through injuries, and then getting to the playoffs, and then still winning it at 34, 35 years old. When Kobe Bryant is getting his knees drained, when he's fighting through injuries, playing 80, 82 games, getting to the playoffs, winning it, how can you take seriously a season where a team basically had a preseason and then started the playoffs? How can you take that seriously? How can you say that that's the same degree of difficulty? How can you say that? You can't. When you look at NBA history, typically it is an advantage to have a slightly older than average NBA team. It's tough to win it as a young team. But the thing about LeBron and his chips is his teams tend to be very old. Okay? And it's not an accident that two of his chips have come during seasons that were shortened. The 2012 season and the 2020 season. Okay? Now, this is a list of NBA championship teams sorted by the number of players that were 30 and up. Now, there's been 73 champions. I think this goes back to back to the 50s. Okay. So when I have highlighted here about what I have captured here is about the oldest 23 teams. Okay. These are the teams that had 6 players or more. Okay. That were at least 30 years old. Okay. So essentially, these are the oldest cohort of NBA champions. This is the oldest third of NBA champions in NBA history. 4 of these teams are LeBron teams. Okay? And in fact, the very oldest team, or the team with the most 30-year-old players. I don't know if it's actually the oldest team. The team with the most 30-year-old players on the roster. Okay? 2013 Miami Heat. Here's a list. Here's that same list. And the strike shortened or the shortened seasons highlighted. Okay? The third oldest team to win the NBA championship was the 99 San Antonio Spurs. Okay? Or the team that had the most 30-year-olds. So there's just got to be a connection there. There's just got to be a connection there. I just would have liked to have seen, like if they tell Michael Jordan, hey Mike, if you come back and play in 1994 or in the year 1999, the season will only be 8 games. And you can just go straight to the playoffs. I think they probably get, even Jerry Weinsdorf would say, even he would agree with that. The season's only going to be 8 games. I don't think you can take effectively an 8-game season seriously. Now, I mean, obviously, the history books are going to record the Lakers season. I think they were like 51 and 19 or something, 52 and 19 or something like that. And they certainly did their thing in the playoffs. But that 5-month break, it just counts. And I'm not talking about, I'm not even talking about the fact that All the games were basically played in a gym. Well, not basically, they were played in a gym. The quarantine, the fact that half the league didn't want to be there. I'm not even talking about that. Okay, I'm just comparing. I'm just comparing a chip that came after effectively an 8-game season compared to one that came after an 82-game season. Can't take it seriously. So for the purposes of the GOAT debate, LeBron, to my mind, only has 3.5 chips, as far as I'm concerned. And in subsequent videos, I'm going to be taking a look at the other 4 or the other 3.